Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another One Piece manga chapter review. This is going to be One Piece manga chapter 1113 titled Stalemate. So let's get into it. So the chapter starts off with a color spread and it looks really nice. It's Robin playing with the Straw Hats as chess pieces, which is really funny. We get Zoro and Sanji as knights, Nami's the queen, Luffy's the king, Jinbei's off to the side. There's a ton of little mini choppers. It's a really cute little color spread of all of them just being like little chess pieces and Robin's playing with them, putting them down on different spots. It'd be kind of cool if we get another color spread of somebody else playing with them and like all the villains as little chess pieces too. That'd be really cool. Anyway, the chapter starts off right where we left off with I think his name is Mars. I call him Gonfal's brother because besides from Saturn, I forget all the other Gorosei names, but it's the one that looks like Gonfal's brother, the giant bird. He is inside the Labo phase and inside the Punk Records, and he saw something bubbling up above him, and we get to see what he's looking at. The transponder is still going on, going with the broadcast, and there's 30 seconds left. He looks up, and Tekken 101, this was his theory, and he was spot on. It's a gigantic head in a gigantic jar like Futurama. Now it's the top part of Vegapunk's head. My Vegapunk head in the flashbacks, it was like getting super long and wide. It was just too much. And when we see him now, he said he cut his head, so I really can see the bottom half. That huge chunk of his head that was gone is inside of this jar. And Gonfal's brother, he's just amazed. He's like, "Wow, this is." Like he was just standing there, just dumbfounded. He goes, "This is what he specifically says." He says, "It continues to live even after your death. Is this your true self, Vegapunk? Then again, what is death to someone like this? Is your consciousness even housed here?" And then we cut over to some other people around the world listening to the transponder snail and the video transponder snails, just watching this, wait to see what Vegapunk says. So after that, we cut over to Syrup Village, and we see Kaya and the three little kids. And the whole village is kind of mad because Kaya doesn't have a video transponder now. She just has an audio one. They thought, since he's the rich person, the gigantic mansion, so we'll have one. But Mary, he's like, yo, those things are pretty big. And they're like house pets. You got to feed them and stuff. We couldn't, well, I bet they could afford it, but he's like, we couldn't just get all that. But the audio should be just good enough too. We cut over to Crocus and we see Laboon. We cut over to some Marines. We cut over to Sabaody. We also cut over to where else? We cut over to Vegapunk's homeland, and somebody was asking about the Beast of Baltimore. Remember when Frankie was on fire and stuff like that, and they thought that was Vegapunk, but obviously the old man that was helping Frankie out. He goes, "Nah, that's Frankie. He even turned himself into a ship." I can't wait to see what Vegapunk's been doing all these years. We don't really know the relationship between this old man and Vegapunk. I mean, it could be his dad because he looks pretty old, so it could be, or maybe it's like his friend. Who knows? We cut over to the island where Chopper went with all those cavemen. That's actually really smart. We also cut over to Hasinosu, the pirate island. It was really funny because we get this one pirate. He goes, "Yo, everybody shut up, you scallywags. Like, Vegapunk is going to say something amazing. Everybody be quiet." This other guy's like, "Wait, hey, I don't care about that. You owe me money." And so one guy's trying to fight the other guy because he owes him money. And this one guy's like, "Yo, shut up. It's Vegapunk. He's going to say something cool. Everybody get quiet." We cut over to Egghead again. We also cut over to, I guess these are like some of the civilians. I don't know. I don't know where this is on the left side of or the right side of the panel, but it looks exactly like Law somewhat. The hat looks like Law's a little bit, and we don't know where Law went after he had this fight with Blackbeard. But this can't be Law, but it just kind of looks like Law. Anyway, Mars, I'm pretty sure that's his name, the giant bird, or just Gonfal's brother, just so I don't get confused. He destroys the Dendemusi that's playing the video. But as soon as he destroys it, he realized this is just a normal one, a decoy. The audio and the video is still playing. They tricked us. Well, Vegapunk, he tricked them. They thought he was more dumb than he let on. So he starts to fly around his bird form, trying to figure out where it is, because he only got 30 seconds left. And Vegapunk, he's starting to talk. Then we cut over to him flying around, trying to figure out exactly where the transmission could be coming from, because they don't have a lot of time left. They don't really know the extent of Vegapunk's knowledge, so he could really say anything that they know of, and that's really dangerous. This is very, very dangerous. This is going to be a repeat of Ohara, But this time, they're actually gonna go through with it and actually tell people what's going on. So while he's trying to figure out where it's coming from, we cut over to Sanji. He's running around with Vegapunk, and he sees Gandhi finna cut up Bonnie. So obviously he goes. It's kind of funny because Vegapunk, he's like all dead and limpless, like like Sanji's carrying him, and Sanji's like, "Wait, Vegapunk, do you hear that? It's the sounds of a woman crying." Obviously, Vegapunk isn't listening. He's dead. I mean, that's not funny, but he's just dead. And Sanji's like, "You hear that? It's a woman crying." Anyway, he comes in and saves Bonnie before Gandhi's able to slice her. It's really cool too because he rushes in. He kicks his sword, bangs off his sword, and comes up and kicks him right in the chin, and that's blood coming out of his mouth. Obviously, they can heal, so he got a good hit off, but it's not gonna last for too long because they can heal. But it was pretty good. Sanji was able to come in and save her right before anything crazy happened. It not a named attack; it's just a regular kick, but any kicks from Sanji are pretty strong. It's a Sanji kick; those are gonna do some damage. Anyway, he kicks him right in the chin. And he says that he has no idea what he is, but just because they look like old geezers, he's not going to go easy on them. This is a pirate fight. Gandhi turns back into his full-on hybrid form, or full-on Zoan form, if they are Zoan fruits. And he turns into like the full form of the skeleton horse, and he bites Sanji, and he drops Vegapunk. Atlas flies over and catches Vegapunk. Omo and Kasi come over and grab Gandhi and pull him back, and then he lets go of Sanji. And then Bonnie tells Sanji to back up because she wants to do this herself. She touches the ground. Well, I thought she touches Omo Akasi. I can't tell in this panel if she touches them or not, but she touches something, and her arms get really weird, like Gear 3 somewhat, or Gear 4, and she goes, "Give me a distorted future, giant-like," and she turns into a giant, and her foot is hovering right over Gandhi, and he's like, "What the?" And he can't move because Omo Akasi like holding him down. So I'm pretty sure she's finna stomp on him, so, which would be pretty dope. So that's pretty cool. I'm guessing she touched like one of the giants with like, "Give me a giant in his future." Her arms turned into like Gear 4, and then, well, she's a giant now. So that's really dope. That's pretty dope. I can't wait to see what happens next. We cut around to other people in the world reacting to Vegapunk's news because Vegapunk just told everybody that this video recording, it's going to play as soon as my heart starts beeping. So everybody like watching the video like, wait a second, we're watching the video, so that means they died. I mean, that means Vegapunk died, right? We cut over to Dofall, he's dumbfounded. We cut over to some other people shocked. We specifically cut over to Caesar and Judge. Caesar's crying because he just teamed back up with Judge so they can outclass Vegapunk. And like a day or so later, he's dead. So he starts to cry about Vegapunk being dead. We get over to Big News Morgan, and he's pretty mad because, him would have, if he would have done this before anyone else knew, it would have been big news. But now he can't, so he's just mad about that. Vegapunk also says that, I'll read word for word. He says, "Please do not assume that the ones who strike me down are evil. I want to make things clear, and I pray you understand this. Regardless of who they seem to be," let me cut over, "I do not intend to discuss right and wrong here. I am not qualified to judge such things. I do not know nearly enough about him in any case." He's kind of telling that he specifically said him. He didn't know who he was going to die to. I mean, he could probably put two and two together, or be a Gorosei or Kizaru, but, he didn't know. Or maybe he did. That's kind of cool. If they reveal he had future sight, that'd be so funny. Anyway, while he's talking, Saturn, he gets all the way up on the cloud where Nami's group is, and he starts to attack them. And Saturn realizes, like, oh, that's Nico Robin. That's the one Ohara survivor that Akahito let slip through his fingers. I'm not going to let that happen again today. He goes to attack Robin, and Robin's, like, shocked and feared that it's one of the 5 elders. But everybody comes in and protects her, which is really dope. We see Nami pulling out Zeus to block one. Like, he shoots out all of his spider leg things to hit Robin, but Nami comes out with Zeus to block one of them, Usopp shooting to block another one, Brook blocks one, Chopper turns into guard point to block another one, so they're all protecting her. And I knew it, like last week I was saying they can't do any significant damage to him because he can heal almost anything, just about anything that we've seen so far. But these guys are decently strong. I mean, yeah, they are the weaker members of the Straw Hat crew, But you got Chopper with his points and Monster Point, Usopp with his stuff, Robin with her new like gigantic floor, Nami with Zeus and lightning. Like they can do damage to him and hold him off until like Zoro or Jinbei shows up, you know? So they're strong enough to hold him off, and that's what they're doing right now. So anyway, Mars flies back over to York, and she's trying to figure out where this transmission could be coming from. Because she starts to think, if I don't figure this out quick, I can't become a celestial dragon. But I'm sensing too many organisms inside the lab phase to figure out where exactly this could be. Then we get a telepathic conversation between Saturn, the Boar, and Mars. And Mars is like, maybe we should just destroy the whole labo phase and just be done with it, so we can cut off the transmission. Saturn's like, nah, we have too much priceless stuff in there that we need to save. It's going to cause a huge explosion. Plus, if we destroy it, we can't make the energy source for the mother flame. So it's just too risky. So what are we going to do? And then Vegapunk says, you know what? I'm just going to cut to the chase. Our world is going to sink into the ocean. We get a panel of two mermaids swimming around, a confrontational and shocking prediction. One Piece 1113 end. That's the chapter. So that's pretty wild. How? I don't know. I honestly don't know. The only thing I could think of is, you remember Water 7 was already sort of starting to sink into the ocean, so they had to build a boat. Maybe that's going to happen to the rest of the world. Or when they used that giant weapon that killed Leloucia. Remember that caused a huge chain reaction to the whole world, so floods started happening. If they start using that kind of weapon over and over and over again, yeah, that could flood the world. Or the most popular theory that's in like the One Piece community. Well, I don't know if it's the most popular theory, but a really big theory in the One Piece community is that Luffy or somebody's going to destroy the Red Line and it will be all one piece all together. That's a good theory. But I was talking to my friend when I was telling him that, because he started watching One Piece. I was like, that's a really good theory. But at the same time, the repercussions of that, like, you know, that's dividing huge chunks of oceans, of seas around the whole world. You destroy the whole Red Line, that's going to flood just about everything. Just about everything. That'd be pretty wild. And the fact that we see two mermaids makes me think that it's going to have some sort of revelation that mer people were the original people of Earth, and then land started popping up and we started discriminating. They're the original creators. Not creators, but I don't know. Just like they were like the first ones here. Mer people. The fishmen. I said mer people. The fishmen were like the first people up here before regular people started showing up and making lands and discriminating. But, you know, maybe it was that. I don't know. That sounds kind of far-fetched. Maybe I'm just spitballing here out of my head. I'm trying to get this done fast. But I don't want to, like, you know, be all sloppy with it, because One Piece and My Hero both came out. So right after I'm done with this, I got to record My Hero. So that's a lot to do. But I'm glad the more weekend members are going to be able to handle Saturn. Bonnie's coming in to help Sanji fight off Gandhi. Hopefully Zoro's able to come down. That's a tricky thing, because Saturn and the bird are where Zoro is, and then Gandhi's down here. But, you know, people want Sanji to fight Mars or Gunfall's brother, because he can fly. So that'd be a good matchup. And then Gandhi and Zoro, obviously the swords, that would be a good matchup too. But they're so far away. I don't know, unless they can get the teleportation device that Vegapunk had at the beginning of Egghead. I don't know how they're gonna get to either place, especially with the barrier still up. Remember the the laser barrier thing? That thing is still up. So it's gonna be really hard for Sanji or Zoro to switch places and to fight the other ones, you know? So I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I really want them to fight those other ones. And we don't get to see Zoro or Luffy this chapter, so maybe they'll be in here next week, and then he'll break next week too, so that's good. But that's the chapter. So like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I thank you all out there for being wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.